Hi, this is Tim. Towards the end of January 2023, Mary Jo and I decided to take an impromptu trip to Florida. SpaceX launch was scheduled on my birthday, so we thought it'd be a perfect time to check one out. The first stop on our trip was at Boneyard Beach near Jacksonville. It was about a mile long with lots of driftwood trees that have been debarked and bleached white by the sun, blowing sand, and surf. They resemble skeletons, and it's assumed that this is where the beach gets its name. It was a bit chilly this day, but still much warmer than back home in Michigan. Next, we headed south to Palm Coast. We took a few short hikes and visited Marineland. The beach was very nice in Palm Coast, but again, it was a little bit cool. We saw lots of birds and had an opportunity to fly the drone a little. Then we headed to Marineland. We learned a little bit about sharks and watched during a shark feeding. After that, we watched a dolphin show, which was highlighted by two little girls interacting with the dolphins through the glass wall of the tank. Mary Jo signed up for a swimming with the dolphins session, and she did things like she shook hands, played catch with a football, instructed them to do tricks and such. And towards the end of her swim, she was pulled through the water by holding on to two dolphins' fins. Then she lay flat on the surface of the water, and the dolphins came from behind and nosed the bottom of her feet to push her through the water. She looked like an aqua woman rising out of the water. It was a great time had by all. Later, I had a dolphin encounter. It was much different than Mary Jo's, and it was delicious. Then it was off to Port St. Lucie to visit some friends. We had a nice time, went out to lunch, and we also walked around Savannah Preserve while we were there and flew the drone a short period of time. After being postponed twice, it was finally time for the rocket launch. We looked good for a good place to watch the event. Since it was a 3:40 a.m. launch, we couldn't get into the closest viewing areas. We scouted Spaceview Park, where we met a couple of guys that lived there. They were very friendly, but definitely down on their luck. Next, we looked at the Max Viewer Bridge. There was a bump out in the middle of the bridge that would have provided nice elevation. We settled on a pull-off park on Highway 1, which was really conveniently located to our hotel. We learned a lot and would be able to do a better job next time. The launch was impressive. The visual sound, the physical rumble was amazing, and we were 7 miles away from the launch pad at 39A. It was very cool.
5, 4, 3, 2, ignition, 1, liftoff.
Eagles pitching downrange.
This is a 5-minute long exposure. You can see the trajectory of the rocket, and on the very right side you can see the engine burn from the separated first stage. On the way home, we made a couple of stops. First was a junkyard called Old Car City in White, Georgia. Over 4,000 classic cars decorate 32 acres of forest at Old Car City, making it the world's largest known classic car junkyard. It started as a small general store in 1931 and is still family owned and operated to this day. Over the 80 years since it started, many media companies have visited Old Car City. News magazine and newspaper companies like CBS Morning, the New York Times, the BBC, and Georgia Public Television, and obviously many more have made press releases and or video segments and transmitted it around the world. Among many cars, there's the last car that Elvis Presley ever bought back in 1977, just a couple of months before he died. Also, a movie starring Andy Griffith and Johnny Cash used one of the cars that now call this place home. We did not have long to spend in the junkyard, but I really do enjoy taking photos and just kind of walking around and reliving some of the cars of the past. The last stop of our short trip was at Spring Hill, Tennessee to visit with Brother Brad and his family. He took us on a tour of his project installing tooling in the new battery shop and shared some time with his family. And thank you very much for watching.